maybe, I don't know, we'll do more in the future. But today I'm trying to think, maybe to talk about the Arena League. People, I mean, you had a special experience in that, and then save enough time to talk about how you fooled everyone on the Bachelorette, the producers.
All right. Well, the Arena League, at the time I got into the Arena League, I was done with college football and didn't have any NFL prospects at the time. I had talked to some teams, was hoping to get into some training camps, but nothing came to be. So I was prepared to go to Germany to play for the Dusseldorf.
The World League or whatever it was.
No, it wasn't even
that. Okay.
It was the European Federation of American Football, if I remember correctly.
I don't even know about that, Dave.
Yeah. It was something that was going to continue my playing career. I was going to be a player coach. They were going to pay me basically my living, give me a house, give me a car, and it basically would have been just a blast. And I would have got to play football on top of that. And I was preparing for that, starting to make travel plans and getting through some of the contractual stuff when I got a call from the New York City Hawks of the Arena League and asked me to come try out. It wasn't a guarantee, but they wanted me to come try out. And it took me about a half a second to make that decision. I wasn't that thrilled about going to Germany, as fun as it would have been. I knew that was further away from where I wanted to be, which at the time was the NFL. And in my mind at that time, as a 23-year-old, feeling I was in the peak shape, prime time of my life, I knew I was going to play in the NFL. There was no question in my mind. So I wanted to stay as close to the NFL track as possible. And I knew that being in New York and staying in the Arena League was going to give me that chance. So went to New York, and first night I was in New York, we lived in Queens, by the way, not the good part of Queens. There is a good part of Queens, but we did not live in the good part of Queens.
You ever see the King of Queens? That's not where you were living?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, we were living, my apartment complex was called La Frac City, and fondly dubbed La Crack City. And there was a rapper called Noriega who grew up there, and he referenced La Frac City in one of his songs. And there was rest in peace graffiti in different parts of the building. I mean, I was, no joke, probably 3 or 4 times a week, people would ask me if I was undercover. So I was, and I was by far a minority, but I was always with my teammates, so I never had any real fear. But the first night I was there, and we didn't have cell phones yet.
Okay.
Or maybe they were coming out, but I didn't have one yet. So I called my parents after a long travel day, got into my apartment. I was on a payphone down the street from the apartment complex, talking to them. Yeah, playing was good. Everything's fine. Weather's fine. Yeah, we can practice tomorrow. Bam! And I didn't know what it was. I put the phone down, and I looked around the corner, and there was a stampede of people running down the street. It was somebody had been shot.
Right.
So, and my mom heard it, and if she had known it was a shot from a gun, she probably would have hopped on the next plane. So I told her a car backfired, yeah. And so needless to say, I got off the phone quickly, sprinted back to the apartment with the rest of my teammates, and didn't leave my room the rest of the night. And so that was the first night of my Arena League experience. But so made the team. It was at that time they didn't pay players for training camp. You got a per diem, but your salary didn't kick in. So consequently, we had about 75 guys for a 25-man roster. So they made probably 10 cuts a day, and then they were rotating guys in. So that year in training camp, I had 7 different roommates that were all there for 3 to 5 days, and then they were cut. And everybody knows when you're in training camp, the knock on the door. And everybody knows when the cuts are coming, so you're deathly afraid of that knock on the door. And it came to my apartment, like I said, 7, 8 times, luckily it was always from my roommate, which was sad because for a lot of guys it was their last stop, and some older guys that were trying to get back into it, and you could tell that's pretty much the end of it. So they were getting on to the rest of their life. So where I was, this is my beginning of my professional career. So I made that team, and then spent the next 7 years playing arena football and loving every minute of it.
Yeah, well, to save some of these stories, I mean, you played at Madison Square Garden, and then you later played, I'm fascinated by, for the Houston Thunder Bears,
yeah,
where you were the Road Warriors. And I'm trying to think, maybe we'd have enough time. The Bachelorette, I mean, I don't know why. I said my buddy Chuck Barney covers TV, so I have an excuse. I remember this.
Yeah, yeah. Don't tell many people that you're a Bachelorette fan.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm a fan of football, and exactly. Right. No, you caught me on that one, Damon. No, but the inside knowledge of being in that house. Tell us about like the cameras, how you could get the cameras to descend, and how you could get like food and beer.
Yeah. Well, everybody always asks me, what it was like, the taping of it. Is it scripted? Do they choreograph it? And the answer is no. They don't script anything. They don't choreograph anything. They truly just put you in the house and they're gone. There's cameramen walking around occasionally who don't speak. The only interaction you have with anybody else outside the house are the episodes where you have the host, Chris Harris, I think his name is, doing the rose ceremony. And then you talk to the couple of the producers. It's a little more scripted then as far as the locations and things like that. But no, during the day, it's just like being in a fraternity house. And that's what it felt like, being back in college, hanging out with a bunch of guys. Our place was a house in Malibu up in the mountain. Beautiful house, pool overlooking the valley. And it was really warm, so we were out by the pool every day. And, beer was flowing quite a bit, and so were some other things. And what you're alluding to is the house is loaded with microphones. So what they're hoping to do is they're hoping to catch guys, arguing or fighting or saying anything provocative so they can get the cameras on. So we started catching on to that. Me and a couple of buddies that I hit it off with, we didn't take the whole thing too seriously, while some guys were really always wanting to talk about their feelings and how they really think this could be, their golden opportunity for love. Me and a few other guys, we realized this was a good time, and let's just have fun on ABC's dime for the time that we're here. So we would experiment and go off in different corners of the house, and we'd huddle up and say something off the wall like, "So, you think she's got a sister that she'd introduce us to?" Something like that. And all of a sudden, camera crew is right in front of us because they're hoping to catch some action. Or we'd get in a fake fight. We'd start wrestling and start cussing at each other, and then the cameras would come in, and by the time the cameras got there, we'd be kissing or making out. So we didn't take it too seriously. I didn't, and the guys that I interacted with the most there, we didn't take it too seriously. But it was a lot of fun. And like you said, if we needed food, hey, we need some steaks. Or, hey, we need a bottle of vodka, or whatever it was that we needed. We just yelled it out, and it was like a magic genie. Some kid would just show up with a plate full of steaks and a box of beer, and we'd be good for the night. So it was a blast. I did get cut earlier than I wanted to, not because I thought I was on the cusp of true romance and love, but because I was having such a good time. And met a few good guys that I enjoyed hanging out with. So I was there for about a week or so. Got through one rose ceremony. Got one rose. Went on a date with her, and so just looking back, it was just one of those experiences that I'm glad I took. It was kind of off the wall, but it was a great time, and I'll never forget it.
Absolutely. So we can come back to that. We got to wrap up. Anything else we should touch on today? Because I'll have to come back.
Yeah.
Because you got maybe that's we just wrap up right now. You got to go to work.
Yeah, I got to get going. I got to pay the bills.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. So we'll end here, and then we'll just off camera. We'll figure out when we can do more, expand on all this. No, you're a great storyteller. I can't thank you enough for your time today, Damon. And I don't know, I'll have to come down and meet your wife and kids. Not become part of the family, but find out like when we could do like 1 hour every couple of weeks or something like that.
Sounds good. I got a lot of stories and they're fun to tell.
And you're a good storyteller. Okay, all right, Damon. I thank you for your time today.
All right, Brian. Thank you.
Very cool.